Welcome back. Ever seen a celebrity on the front cover of a women's magazine and then seen them in real life and wondered if they were the same person? Well, it's not a secret that the mags airbrush all those wrinkles and other facial flaws away because it's basically part of the deal to get them to sign up. But there's a reader backlash prompted by a Judy Bailey cover in the Australian Women's Weekly. Now, apparently, her own sister didn't recognise her, and readers reckoned that they'd been deceived. And as Hannah Ockleford reports, the magazine is now trying a wrinkles and all approach, and a former beauty queen is their first, their first guinea pig.
The first runner-up is Miss USA. Miss New Zealand is Miss Universe. Congratulations, Miss New Zealand.
It's 1983 and a young Lorraine Downes is the country's first beauty crowned in this exclusive pageant. 27 years on, and the now mother, wife and successful businesswoman is facing the inevitable, the reality of ageing.
I'm 45 and I look at my face in the mirror and I see lines, and to me that's the history of my life.
It's that history that's been left untouched on the latest cover of the Australian Women's Weekly.
That's just me as you see me now.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And this issue, I'm not airbrushed on my editor's photo either, and I'm fine with that too.
There's nothing wrong with wrinkles.
There's a little freckle above her lip. There was a little vein here which Lorraine was surprised by because she'd never seen it before.
It might seem silly, all this fuss over a couple of freckles and a few wrinkles. But this is the glossy and glamorous magazine industry. Celebrities, reputations and money.
We don't want it to be smoke and mirrors. We do need it to be real, but we also want to inspire people.
Welcome to the world of airbrushing, also called retouching, photoshopping, enhancing. Whatever you call it, it's the digital manipulation of an image.
I want it to be known that this does happen. There's a business reason behind why this is done. We do have to sell magazines.
The practice is rife and common knowledge, but it's not often you'll hear a magazine editor speak so bluntly and publicly on the topic.
The reason we did this and the reason we've responded to this is because we wanted some transparency around what we do.
It was the backlash from the controversial January cover featuring former TVNZ news anchor Judy Bailey.
Kia ora, good evening.
That motivated the Australian Women's Weekly to bear all.
It's been quite nasty at times as well. You know, people have vehemently come out sort of attacking and accusing us of deception.
Readers voiced their distaste in emails like this.
Who is the woman on the January cover of the Australian Women's Weekly? Judy Bailey, apparently. Her face had been so photoshopped, not one of us recognised her. As women journalists, we're fed up with the Australian Women's Weekly presenting such manipulated images. Judy looked great before you changed the shape of her face, filled in most of her wrinkles and made her 40 again. The glam treatment may be fair enough, the sham treatment isn't.
Honestly, I didn't recognise Judy.
Judy Bailey said to me that her sister didn't recognise her. So that to me made me realise that we've got to do something here. We've got a problem.
This is their response, and they're calling it an all-natural cover shoot.
It will be polarising because some of our readers will say to us, it's hardly a big risk you're taking. You know, you're starting with a beautiful woman. She was Miss Universe.
And a dancing queen. So no airbrushing, but she's still looked after by a professional crew.
And we can't compare it to happy snaps and what we would expect to get from our little point and shoot camera at home.
The absolute naturalness is obviously no makeup.
I suppose what we've tried to do here is create some real transparency and show exactly what goes into a photo shoot, but the one step that we haven't taken is to retouch it.
This is saying to the public, be aware of what goes into images that you see. They are fantasy.
While the untouched version of Lorraine graces the cover, there's an airbrushed comparison a few pages in.
My ego says straight away, I like this one. But you know, I look at this and I think, you know, this is an image of me as a 45-year-old woman. And, you know, a 45-year-old woman has wrinkles.
The Australian Women's Weekly says they'll keep airbrushing their cover shots, but this is a reality check.
What I'm hoping to achieve from this is some sensible and reasonable debate about what our readers think about it, and to create some transparency and discussion about what actually really happens in magazines.
For Lorraine, the reason's personal.
I feel so ready for this. You know, it's amazing how it came at an unusual time where it was like, wow, I've been actually personally been thinking about ageing. There's so much more to life than worrying about, you know, the lines on your face. So much more to life.
Now, you may be interested to know that since that particular issue hit the newsstands yesterday, the Australian Women's Weekly has already received 22 letters in support of the unairbrushed cover. And the editor says that amount of feedback this early on is unheard of. Anyway, still to come on the program, it has been a week of apologies, hasn't it? And it has not ended yet. Who's sorry?